Good morning. Me mamunyana ache. Good morning. I believe say ye tifo ne adofunyana mutie na mohwe in live so. And me pese me she obi nkran say sene atie bia onyame ene hene nyama be ye. I patcho invite obi say ombra na yenyina yembetie our beautiful solicitor lawyer Amy Jumedia Odi Emma UK man yina and me patcho ubetie na questions bi a wopese ubisa sanya daye no ubetime afre na webisa and a dear a very very important because na medical aka a glorious birthday to my own son Ket Asante. Happy birthday, son. I wish you all the best. Ensi uye onyame tutu wanamo. Men Bible ne se ube shro nyame ne wanante nyame akwe. My Bible say shro nyame. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Men Bible ne se ube shro nyame. No ama onyansa shronkwa ode dom Solomon. Onyame ema osa nyansa nibi. Enjoy your day. We love you. Fans of MDA4 me huntoma ba me checha munyana. Obia ene wabaso me pacho do share na obiso ntibi. Lawyer. Yanko, say hello to your friends.
Good morning, it's here for Michiamunya and Neno Yebebon. Very, very interesting in Common B concerning our immigration rules and appeals. Intimi Pacho Amunya Munti, and discuss it.
Yo, Medamunya Nase, it's here for Mommy 1 minute. Okay, and Yabakasafa appeal for fresh applications. And some never cano. Loyami, who will be kafa home, appeal for fresh applications. I made them as will be at us. Send a Ubekana will be sharing live on Facebook, YouTube, baby, I will share, be able to as you're saying.
All right, into appeals, immigration appeals, any fresh applications, no. They are two separate things, right? So, first of all, with an application, we call it a fresh application because at times, no, obey application they are kotum. Ode kotum na unfortunately no, more refuse the application. Intina ya no, as lawyers no, your friend no fresh application.
Okay. Yo.
Then the alternative is say ube appeal. Okay. Ube appeal an immigration decision into, for example, uye application for leave to remain or krumha.
Yeah.
Uye application no, a right of appeal. And I say why your entry clearance application ube joining with partner.
Okay.
And also Omar refuse it. To be more right of appeal.
Yeah.
So with appeal, no, they are just different appeals. There's in-country appeal. And there's an entry clearance appeal. So there are differences.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And then appeal, no appeal.
Difference.
Okay. Yankwa patrite for person offer obetimi afre na wo questions bi opese ubisa lawyer obetimi afre na wo bisa no. Me amedi jomadi ebrewo ye frame MDA. Many Abinel solicitors and na AD sa jumai. Okay, obi question na wodi aba me pacho mame mbisa. Also, I am a family member of an EU national. I currently live in Ghana and my husband has been restricted in the UK for 10 years. No, sorry, Manchanier has resided in the UK for 10 years. Me pacho way or message me sorry why my home has resided in the UK for 10 years. We got married in Ghana on 30th of December 2020 in the presence of respective families. My husband attended the marriage registration and ceremony. We made an application for my EUSS family permit, but unfortunately my application has been refused. The entry clearance officer has the following reasons for refusal: that my husband's signature on the marriage has variation for that of the signature in his Netherlands passport, and therefore they do not accept the marriage certificate and have stated that I am not a family member. I've made a few applications, one 2020, 2021, and recently in 2022? This is my question. A, I have the same documents with updated payslips and bank statements. Should I make a fresh application again? I fear I will be rejected again. Advice.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's a very good question. Into my application 3 times. And one person who said, on for fresh application.
And Sanko Anna. Yeah.
On appeal decision.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, no, I believe we say first and foremost, you need to look at what the problem is.
Okay.
Because signature must sign it with marriage certificate, and yet the same signature, Netherlands
passport in him.
If that be the case, of course, they may raise concerns, which they have.
Yeah.
I feel as though that issue has to be resolved. It's not a matter of say, the pay slips, no bank statements, failing to address the reasons for refusal. The reasons for refusal, let's say, a signature is not the same. So that needs to be addressed.
Okay.
So if you're going to go for a fresh application, you need to make sure you address that issue where there's been a variation of signatures before you can proceed.
Yeah.
You see,
yeah.
If you feel you cannot address it to the best of your ability and you need to explain it further, or you feel as though a more refusal, because sometimes refusals never sad.
Yeah.
You just need an impartial judge to sit in the case and make the decision for you.
Okay.
That is also another way. But the overall overriding factor is you have to resolve the problem.
Okay.
And there's a lot of times that Omoba back, Omoka say, well, signature no, and you're the same. You share with passport mo, now you share marriage certificate. I was signing mono. It's completely different.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's slightly different. MDA, we have to remember. So who's signing with signature? Who's signing with signature 5 times? You see that 5 times no. It's not going to be
the same.
Absolutely perfect. Maybe when you're a little variation here and there. We are only human, for goodness sake. If you are in that sort of situation, you've put in an application, they're telling you your documents are not genuine. Meanwhile, documents are all they kono. It's just perfect. But we'll tell you and find a way to get around it.
I know that Abinel solicitors, lawyer Amy Wakasano. So open lawyer Amy number me debe tuja na what me afreno na jumedi bia ese odiman we diamam. And nyama ne be how you can't do it by yourself. They be ameka. Enti uhia solicitor ba kope eno ne Abinel solicitors. Na oma boa ama weti me edisa adwuma. Obi enwa odena samako Abinel solicitors. Den said the enkra na obeka cho say if a bibia won't me obeka cho obetimi a eno de hu se ukọ no ka cho say yes sir ene hu se start koto atare white to na ehye na chese with the enkunim. Okay, on one is say be say also I've been giving me pacho obi ebisa question be on Facebook mame and bisa no quickly na me bisa say good morning lawyer Amy, I want to know paper appeal and oral appeal, which one is more easier to win your case?
Oh, wow, that's a very good question. Thank you so much for that question. Paper appeal or oral appeal? Well, I would say that both of them are good. They're both methods that are used for the appeal to be considered. However, it really depends on the case.
Okay.
For example, if you've been refused, a refusal application, or you've been refused based on marriage of convenience, almost say warrior no. And yeah, papa, Marco marriage interview. Mano Uncle Sipe. Oh,
Marco, I think
Uncle Sipe.
Yanko.
Obi say a dem hoye white. Obi say dem hoye green.
Exactly.
Obi say the bathroom is on the first floor. Once you can say bathroom no is first door on your right. Udru, the landing first door on your right. It's not just a mwasem NCA.
Yeah.
Who try say who they call as a paper appealer.
Yeah.
Remember, you are supposed to be re-interviewed again, because what you are saying, if you are going for a marriage interview, sometimes the clients come back. Omuka say when we got to the place, to the marriage interview, we didn't actually say that, or maybe they misheard what we said.
Okay.
It might be that there's inconsistencies you disagree with. Witness statement, inconsistencies, yes, you would do that, but you also would love to see the judge face to face, so that if there's any questions, because remember, if it's a written appeal, he's sitting in his little or her little chambers, the madam or sir sitting in their little chambers, considering what you've said. You cannot be asked any questions. So you will make, or she will make, a decision based on the evidence before them.
Okay.
However, if they appear, if they come, if you are present in an appeal and it's an oral hearing, you have the judge has the opportunity to ask questions. If they feel as though maybe they don't quite understand something, that can be the winner for the appeal. So it really depends. If it's a straightforward appeal, it's not complicated, maybe some documents were left out and they've refused it, you can put everything together, right, and then submit the appeal. Perfect.
Oh,
if it's oral and it's complicated.
So which one would you reckon? Which one? You can say to be
honest with you, me the oral hearing based on the client's request. I work a lot more with oral. But if you want a paper hearing, I know how to structure it. You know the structures, structures and the submissions are deadly. So I know how to do it for you. So
good one. Nana Jima Sam the Opa Syrupa. Me debi amesiro. It go for feels make a problem back to me, mama. So I'm always laughing. My Syria dear, is the best makeup to put on every day. Me that's nana nyame insura. Okay, yanko the next one will be Bisa. Also, I am a Ghanaian national married to a French national. I currently reside in Ghana. I got married to my husband 26 December 2019. However, we registered our marriage on 1st January 2020. That means obi timi ware non-registered inside Ghana. Obi timi ware in there.
Ghana mrano.
Only. But it means you Okroma.
We are special. We have the customary marriage. So
okay. I know you're traditional. Until I'm confused.
Yes. A Ghana mrano say registration and case law has proven that registration of marriage is not compulsory. The minute the families sit in and gather and the dowries are exchanged, then customarily you're married. Oh, and
I'm sure na me yo.
Oh wow, beautiful.
Traditional and wedding. The problem is be about them. And then once na me can tell my wasombra bed debia. Okay. So the registration date is in our marriage certificate. Declaration on the marriage form certificate. The date of the marriage is 26/12/2019. We married an application for we married an application for my EUSS. Laemi, what is EUSS? Do you have any idea?
It's the EU settlement scheme.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, we married an application for my EUSS family permit, but I was refused last week for the following reasons. 1, the entry clearance officer states that my marriage happened after the specified date of 31st December 2020. Also, there were major mistakes on the certificate, such as our age at the date of marriage was wrong. How is that possible?
MDA
is and I mean radio
yes, it's possible and it happens all the time. So
the dates not a one marriage certificate in this one is wrong.
So you know with every form of marriage or with our Ghanaian marriage certificate, you have the names, the date you got married, your signatures, right, and then you also have the age at the date of marriage. So if you're 40 years when you got married, that's stated on that form.
Okay.
If you're 55, they'll state the age. They also state whether your status, whether you are you are a divorcee, or spinster, or they state that your status as well. You see, so sometimes there are errors. In this case, the age of the individuals were wrong.
So can I ask a question before I continue the question? Yes. So is that means in case everything is being written, you have to have a look at it before
Yes.
everything is being put on the certificate.
Yes, you see that,
because a bit me feel
yes.
A bit me feel.
Yes. Ultimately, that's the best way. That's the best practice. But sometimes, in the heat of the moment,
you are so happy.
Yeah.
I
had it.
I
had the nonsense. One take over time and it happens. Sometimes a flash of something, and when even they bring the refusal decision, that's when you realize, oh my God, it was wrong. I was 43, but I said I was 40. It was wrong. And they can
okay, so it happens.
It happens. Yeah.
Okay, and you said a clearance officer on your bonnet. Okay, there were major mistakes on the certificate, such as our age at the date of marriage was wrong, and my husband's address was a Ghana address as opposed to his UK residential address. We are very worried and have been given the right of appeal. Please advise what documents can be used to win this appeal.
Wow. You need to be very careful with such an appeal. As I said, MDA, as he said, even on the marriage form itself, Rebecca said the person is not married, has never been married before, but the person is actually a divorcee, and maybe in subsequent documents, maybe you've provided something to the Home Office already, so they know that when you were coming into the country, for example, you were married, you were actually married, legally married, so then how comes you are coming to marry somebody else? It's not possible. Before you marry somebody else, you need to divorce, and they have that evidence. So if they have it on their file, and your marriage certificate is saying that you are not a divorcee, then who's telling the truth? You haven't provided a divorce certificate. It means that your marriage is void, isn't it? So these things happen. But there's a way to correct it. There's always a way. There's always a way to correct it.
Okay.
Hope is not lost. All hope is not lost.
It's true.
You can correct it in some way. All right. So, for example, you get it and the age is wrong. The first thing you do is you go back to the registry. The registry could be KMA, Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly. It could be AMA, Accra Metropolitan Assembly, or any other assembly or registration departments in Ghana. The first thing you ask for them to do is you take it back and you show them your passport and the date of marriage, and show them that no, there was an error here. Whether it was their error or your error, you make sure it's corrected on the marriage certificate. So ultimately, they would have to give you a new one, which will reflect the corrections. But also, what you can get as well is you can get an accompanying letter. Say, there was an error on the initial marriage certificate, on their letterhead. An error on the initial marriage certificate, but in actual facts, the age of this so Ama Kese Kojo Besia was 30 and 35 respectively.
I go for dinner to Ama Kese.
Yes, exactly. 30 and 35 respectively. So that is very important. So it's not that you get the marriage certificate and you panic. And panic. Where you bet me to resolve it. But remember, say, call back to them again. Please check it again, because sometimes call back to them again. No, must I a mistake?
The beam
address is wrong. No, what's on their copy? One more UK address. Usu to Ghana. You are just giving them a reason to refuse you.
Exactly.
You're
but
leading
again, the will be UK address. I'm to Ghana. Will be better, myself.
Sometimes, warrior. Whether it's by proxy or in person. So whether say be an uniho, that happens a lot sometimes when it's a proxy marriage. Not just say a warrior in course uniho. In your absence, say yes, I in our tradition. And a chrome higher J. Sometimes when that happens, there can be little errors here and there. It can happen.
But
we have to always make sure we are checking. Sometimes even in the heat of the moment, when you are even present, Ghana say worry. But because Asemna Yebibre was you've given your Ghana address, where you live in Ghana, but what they want is where you are sort of domicile, where you live where do you live for the most part. No, they don't want the temporary address. And see, we just have to take our time. And you know what we do at Abinel Solicitors? So, the marriage certificate, a free Ghana bar. And now I say, whatever it may be, by proxy or customary marriage, we look into the marriage certificate and ask you the necessary questions. Have you been married before? You'd be surprised how many people say, yes, I've been married before. And it will mean that what they've stated in the marriage certificate is wrong, which means you have to do the whole thing again. So we ask you, have you been married? We check your address against your proof of address here. We check your names. We check your date of birth, and then check to see at the time of marriage, how old were you? We check if you've said you're a divorcee. What does that mean? You need to provide a divorce certificate.
I did not read it until I see you. The reason why I make us answer, Matina, once I say Ghana, which I play more later when I'm the mama fairly forms on the mama. Sometimes you be address now, you be Ghana there, and people will be writing UK there. Sometimes we just can't be bothered to read over and over and over into whom we have address and
maybe even you're rushing. You're just rushing through something.
And nunti and I make come for Abinel Solicitors amount and pentem now one can go fill from beer and man won't chill. Me patrol bibia a year efa legal a marriage family anything part of Abinel Solicitors or beboa or timely intervention excellent result. Mamin Chow and Yamanibia they specialize in in nationality law, point-based system applications, entry clearance, leave to remain, visitors visas, about family divorce, separation, consent orders, etc. Bomodia contacted Abinel Solicitors. It was 078-2470-5353. And our office number is 0203-759-3309. Now address to 14 Clipple Road, Stratford, London, A15 2RJ. Bomodian contacted Abinel Solicitors Emmanuel Wow. Ubetimi afre radio so na so questions we so na pese ubisa ubetimi afre na webisa medase. Pachoyanko next one. I am a Ghanaian national. I traveled to UK for a friend's graduation on 23rd November 2010. And thereafter, I did not return to Ghana. My mother, sister, and my niece are British nationals, and they all live in the UK. I'm very close with my mother and sister. I live with my sister and her 2 daughters, and her children are fond of me, as I have been there for them since they were born. I know I have not lived here for 20 years, but I can't bear all the boundaries and obstacles of living in the UK as an overstayer, and I'm unable to lawfully work in the UK. I don't have the right to register as a patient at my sister's GP surgery. I have often have severe stomach aches and wish to have a GP surgery that can possibly prescribe medication or refer me to a specialist. This is sad. What application can I make to regularize my stay despite living here for only 11 years now?
MDA, I think last week I did always say
yami yo yanso nya baby anko utie wo ya untimi nko baby a wo se wuwu ba JP bia so nhwe wo bende
I say ultimi pet the right legal representative emma ne ye case bia mo ye hwemma in this case in particular what I can say is say although say on meet 20 years 20-year requirement. That's fair enough. But what can something I very, very important to asem wemu. One, what can say in the family waha ni mame. And in the sister. Ninyanum. And our forming very strong family ties, a strong relationship with the nieces. In a situation like this, you need to really be relying on your family life in the UK. And the fact say it's really an exceptional sort of circumstance. We have to ask more questions. Ebi krana or call back home or new biawaho. Nif mama and his sister waha, and they are his only family members who he can say that are immediate family members for himself. So you'd have to really work with the right to a family life, the right to a private life. What jinemu application number. No.
Okay.
So I think there are a lot of people in a situation like this because they're 10 years. They think, you know what, I've got another decade left.
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
It does not mean, say, because you've been here for 10 years, you cannot apply now.
Yeah.
There may be specific circumstances or specific issues, merits in your case. You bet me ajinaso. Adje was sitting now Chrome Hammer. Definitely come and see us. We will take particular interest into the relationship he has with the children. The nieces.
Yeah, or say, yeah. Also, Chroma, when I'm Qualata, now on your monatana 50 time, you warm, when I show you, you school, you almost say, as I debia, they are always thinking about you. Ain't to be say, into not just even though she's overstayed, you know.
Yeah.
She can still come and see you.
Oh, yes.
Hey.
That's why we're there. We're there for everybody. They should come and see us.
Mote ne Abinel solicitors even though no we're overstaying, but it's some bond na one ebushia no wono and that's one nkwala no wono. Abinel says we be hu na obeboa wo ama bibia akoye yo yanko be or say what will be the key evidence that can be used for the application?
You see,
key evidence.
You see, back to the children, although they are not his biological children, and only parental responsibility for San Colano. What I can say, is that depending on their age, let's say they're 8, 10, their evidence, a letter that they would write would be given a lot of weight. So I would always, interview the children and really find out the bond between uncle and niece. It might be that, as I said, he does everything for the children, takes them to school, gives them, helps them with personal care, food, and they become accustomed to having their uncle as a male figure within their life at home. So the arguments we'll be making is that it is in the best interest of the children that uncle remains in the UK. So these are the sort of things that we will rely on. The evidence, we get elaborate letters from mom, sister, and nieces to really help strengthen the case. And we are hopeful, says submissions are
the positive results.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Or not to be honest, my friends are telling me I can switch to the skilled worker route. Is this true?
Oh, unfortunately, this is not true. Young be brea mo frɛ mo ka say mo overstay but what to say carer route be aba skilled worker ba into mo betimi agina sa skilled worker ni carer route no
they are
yes because mo was sa skills no ebia they've worked as a carer elsewhere and omo nim say mo yes adwuma no because they'll be very talented at that job. But we have to remember that if you are within the UK and you want to switch, you have to have lawful residence. International say you have to have immigration status. Maybe apply as a skilled worker. It's not going to work.
And the emphasis says will be obey 2 years and 2.5 years and will be 5 years. Not a person skilled just a winner on crack and son waiting me.
Yes. So maybe you are a student, for example, but another way we get a graduate visa. And you want to switch from being on the graduate visa to being a carer.
It's not possible.
That is possible because you already have leave. But if you are an overstayer, in the first place, you are not even supposed to be here. You've overstayed on your visa. You've breached the conditions of your leave. Into therefore, no ansana ubetimi as switch ako skilled worker no. Ese wo san ko fie na making entry clearance application to come back.
So once you've got like in we a crown and then you can make the application.
In we a crown uba as a visitor no. You are here specifically as a visitor. You cannot switch from visitor to skilled worker.
All right. Okay. So that is not true, my sister. Okay. My members will be there. Okay. Also, I am an EU national from Germany. I currently have settled status. I have tried 3 occasions to bring my adult daughter, who is 25 and has graduated from the University of Ghana. Despite her age, she has been unemployed after finishing university 3 years ago. I pay for all her essential needs, including her food, clothing and accommodation. I provided a few MoneyGram receipts. Unfortunately, yesterday my daughter's application has been refused for the third time. The ECO has cited the following reasons for refusal. They have stated that they do not believe that she is dependent. Me given her age and the fact she has finished university, they have assumed that she should be working. Please advise how we can tackle this. That is the first one. We bisa questions, baby.
Yes.
But me bisa one by one. And so this is the first one. Almost so munjindi. Ese at the age there so to me ye juma Ghana. Into no farman. This is the third time.
MDA where they are £7 because once if share EU and random
Yeah.
Once a quality over the age of 21, they are expecting say EU national na a parent no.
Yeah.
Obey provider man. A colano be dependent on mommy and our papa.
Yeah.
For all of their essential needs. Social home office guidance no more.
Yeah.
But the question is, so we did 25 where we are university, how comes you're not independent? You're still not out of the loop.
No, a baby university your master say they are not working.
Okay. So we can say who are entry clearance officer on Jindi. What can with one no say who fear on Jindi? Utro cry say who fear now on Jindi because what graduated bare 4 years. I didn't want to mean even a menial job to do. Now, what you need to prove say you are dependent on your mother for everything.
Okay.
And it can date back from the times that you started university, all 3 hour fees.
Yeah.
All 3 hour accommodation, into all those receipts, if you have them, you need to make sure they are part of it. But in the now that you are 25 years of age, you need to prove to the entry clearance officer that one, you are unemployed, and two, although you are unemployed, you are making an active. You're being active.
Yeah.
In searching for employment. Okay, you need to be searching. Although you are saying you're unemployed, what's the proof? You need to provide evidence that you've even applied for jobs. What shouldn't you be? Now in Ghana, we are using the World Wide Web in so many different ways.
Okay.
For positive and for negative. For positive, you can actually apply for jobs online even in Ghana.
Yeah.
Who apply now do CV qua now because you don't have enough experience. It's evidence to say that listen, I am still unemployed despite the fact that I finished university.
Yeah.
So what we do is we normally get into the detail of the client. Are you applying for jobs? Give us proof. So that when we are submitting the application, you almost say, Onijuma.
So what about say Obi apply for jobs but not like online and stuff like that, but maybe or the receiving mama baby Obi and friend. What about that one?
Where's the proof? You have to remember, say a grana yedino is evidence. Where's the proof? You need the proof.
Lawyer, yes. Me wa Ghana, me applications in me here were online.
Okay.
Into my CV and wherever I'm going to or baby I'm because I'll just give them the CV. Submit transform over for me. That's what a lot of people do. Obi Fred, what do? You
have to get the employer to confirm say onjo.
Na abena unim so bi o ne second o paper na kura na wada no ho. Ho.
They are too bin.
What they are too bin mu baby crying on no anytime nti no wo be ko on kura na adwuma na manager nti me san kan say how do you yen hwe san dem away so.
It's true.
Obey den na waka say me evidence ni say what twene wan fa nko.
Okay.
It's betime de me receiving nko aba.
They receiving elaborate qualifications baby. The entry clearance officer make us say who are your masters still evidence of seeking employment is very important, but there are other bits of evidence you can use, such as a money transfer receipts.
Okay.
They want 3, 1, 2, 3. Now the account application. Now they call. They will refuse you. Okay. Because if the child is 25, it means that they should have been dependent on you for the last 4 years.
Okay.
they want from 21 going, they want to see evidence.
Okay.
The person is dependent on you. For historic money transfer receipts.
Okay.
Sometimes money transfer receipts to me, because you send it.
But now I don't think it's to me, because do you know why?
Why?
So we have phone to
Yes.
Receipt maybe beyond the we email mo.
Yes.
And so I think so you can call them and tell them, sir, I've been sending money maybe for the past 2 years. Nyeti make us answer na me show be let's sing. Now every week we are discuss komomo. And scan na yede komomo no. Me self-employed na me here san nyama ni nyina. And omo de breme. When you ask them, they will give it to you.
Okay.
And so you can go back.
Okay, so there's a couple of times that is very that's very true. And for the new sort of money transfer agencies that have propped up, you can always request for historic evidence. Into say what sending Momo and all those transfers. Ninya or email mo.
Exactly.
Or you can call them and ask for a statement. However, you get some people who they've been the children are older. Okay, so they're like 35. Sometimes 40, and it means that historically, at that time, the Momo system hadn't started.
Okay.
So you're looking really for things like money transfer receipts, like Western Union, MoneyGram. It might be that so many years ago, your child is now 38. You used to send them money 15 years ago, or whatever it may be. But it may be that you've lost those documents.
Yeah.
MDA, if it's a reputable company that you send the money through, you have to make sure, say, statements. No one who say,
who send this can?
And a one because so every time, every month, every other week, money is going to the applicant. And and alongside that, so sometimes you may not always send money, but now the school wants them get letters from the school.
Get
receipts that show that you are the one who has the EU national, you paid for it. It might be that you are doing checkups, health checkups, dental checkups. What amount or the battery. Get the doctor to confirm that you because you've sent the money to them directly to confirm that you are the one who has
I think the best these days, you don't even stress yourself. So show mommy or hospital you just send the money to them. It's letters because I quite remember a friend and that time the money transfer say. Now I think you call post office.
Yeah.
Now you send MoneyGram. You send this kind of and then Oba no ato paper naturally. Oba no ato paper until you can't say okay when I show my coffee papers in the brand. Paper be and the so much to retrieve it from Sanya money to send I think it's a very good and to be away be from paper too.
That's it.
Because we name Ochinanko, Ghana for your pesa, Bibi Kakari, Mikahobi, Bibi and the to bin, and Chania, they are to bin. Good morning, Messia Santa, my own mother. I'll say, well done, ladies. Thank you, Michasa Kumanofonia, Yamisha, say, Wabaso. Okay, lawyer.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe the second one question that will be something. Also, they have also mentioned that they checked the money transfer receipts and have concluded they are not legitimate, as they checked on the MoneyGram website for the transfers and mentioned that it is not recognized. Please advise, what do I do? I'm so boa. I'm in Mali.
Right.
They are lying.
See, there's only one thing to do here. So who are sent by MoneyGram? We all know that MoneyGram is a reputable money transfer agency or company. So what you do is you have to make sure say Uber contact you directly because sometimes if you call on website, so now we'll type a reference number because it's so old, the system finds it difficult to pick it up. But if you go back and speak to them directly at their head office, you call them, they can really check and confirm and send to you by email the statement of the number of times you've sent money abroad. So that is the way to go about it.
You can do that?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
You see, these things, you shouldn't leave it,
Okay.
Omar can say it's fake. Now, what giant is like you? That means you're accepting.
I'm accepting. Ebia lawyer will be saying yet hand crofoti and cano. Ebia not will be your shame to what I say. Will be to what I say. Some of them might have not even onim say wo call lawyer how call usuro. There are a lot of people like that. Hey, me call lawyer be Jimmy 10 million de me nyanye. But sometimes it is better say obeba be consult lawyer no and pay that fee than so de be kona afa de ska wo be chie an wo be wie nkro chem 20 kra na nye na wo chie ma lawyer no. Eya na ye ni ati bebre anye. Sometimes you know Yamfa need the money and this, and so if doctor now question and I say we call now who a drug them go to the doctor. If you are going to the lawyer, go to the lawyer. Or be on him we be just go to them and don't say I'm going to do it on my own because I have to go and pay consultation fee, which is really bad. See, also should I make a fresh application or should I appeal?
Wow, you have really, you know, in this case you really have options. I mean,
yeah,
it really depends. Providing you're able to get the right evidence, you know, your statements to show you've sent the money, you have your letters, your so on and so forth. You can make a fresh application. It's an EU case, so if you're making a fresh application, it's free of charge. That's one of the benefits. However, if it's something that you feel you've been refused so many times. You want, you know, advocacy to take place. You want everything, you know, a judge to have a listen to what has happened. Then we go for the appeal. So providing we have the right documentation to support either the appeal or application, it's either or, whichever is advantageous.
And that is what you just said. We'll be making sure that the applications, whatever they need, and they are correct. And you have a look at them first before we application. With you, no. Omo mokase, ebisi me ma lawyer me more time na no fan kasa me pacho. Lawyer me 1 hour oba no abedi apono 1 hour nesu a lawyer me oni abiem enti mo amope apono omosre amo pe apono sesi ayete monje apono enti se wuhia lawyer me after 1 hour na na eno de wafre no e wona number so anase wakohu no na waboa am wedi ujuma lawyers be bring enya sane ma ya lawyer emi ai ubune ne be kasa kra you need to pay for it and sakra will be an wakasa which obi anana ne kasa bi so obi wa passion no or a nurse say only passion na won't be into scan kwa na odua into this shows is our passion no into we ye me bia
I've got the passion.
Obi because na dey no spending the sika dey enuane no ye nyema no obo ankrofo na wabeta na okasa free we betimi enya sika wom 1 hour we betimi enya sika kase wom. That is what people will say, but you've got the passion and na oye ahye nyame enunyam. Okay, yankwe obi say I am a British and applied for my son to join me in the UK. My son currently stays with my sister in Ghana as his mother married and moved on living with my son on his own to take care of himself at just 12 years old. I begged my sister to take him in 4 years ago, and she has looked after him with my instruction ever since then. I make all the decisions in my son's life. Unfortunately, my son's application has been refused last week. I'm distracted as my sister is relocating to China and her family. The entry clearance officer refused the application because I did not provide adequate evidence of sole responsibility. I'm surprised because I provided all the money transfers and proof of school fees paid. Please advise what I need to do going forward. Should I appeal or make a fresh application?
Wow. In this case, I feel like the documents, maybe the documents that were submitted originally, and satisfy sole responsibility. So it's very important to say, yes, we can definitely appeal the decision. In this case, I would say appeal may be more appropriate because for such cases, oh yes, settlement, thousands of pounds, you know, a good couple of thousands. Meanwhile, if you go for the appeal, you know, it's slightly cheaper, you know, so I would go for the appeal and make sure that going forward, MDA, I think we should, again, we've spoken about it on the show, but I think we should reiterate the point.
Okay.
The point is that when you're looking after children abroad, it may be in Ghana, it may be in Nigeria, it may be in Kenya, wherever it is, that you're looking after children, we need to make sure that it's not just money transfer receipts that we are sending as proof of sole responsibility, or it's not just the letter from the school to say, oh, Amakese attends this secondary school, and then that's it, full stop. When you look at sole responsibility and you look at the Home Office guidance, it goes into depth.
Parents meeting, GP mother.
But you see, MDA, sometimes you can't blame them too much. They've been here for so many years. And what's now about 20 years? I feel na umunsan kan krata. I feel na umwanya umu British passport.
Na me ko GP no na GP ni bisam bibi ni abechi me na me yende nti me nkokra.
You see, exactly. But we also have to remember to say the child is in Ghana and they are here. So how then do you show sole responsibility? I'm not in Ghana, so all I can really do, most parents will say, is I can send money and I can call and check up on you.
Can't you? I think so, because I've got friends omo Ghana.
Yes.
Omo the school fees in directly to the school. Omo I'm keso at least a week. Me come say an adult or teachers no. Or the class teacher and the head of or the class no. Oji you finish every week to show send the banner they want to say bibi cause when yana or any homework that school needs to man report about the banner. It's a way of interacting with them, and I know so yet.
MD, that is spot on.
Thank you.
Spot on. So that is what we should do as parents. You constantly check with teachers. Don't leave it to your child. Then it's not sole responsibility. Don't leave it to the child. Make that effort. And you see, MD, I mentioned something earlier. Mekan Bibi said, "Ejuma evidence. Into uba se ube sungidi. Aka said, minye say already, it's not going to work. You need to be able to prove that you contacted the school.
Okay.
If it's emails, more email it teachers. No, hello, good afternoon. I'm just checking on my daughter's terminal report to see how everything is going for the term for this academic year.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. That is how.
Why is it that Ebiame always maths? Mitimi usa mebe debi maths no 20%.
What help can we give the child?
Exactly. Ebia.
No, who build the correspondence.
Yeah.
Who build the entry clearance officer who say, what a wonderful parent. Always checking on the child's academic development. Or final letter from the church in Ghana. Oh wow. Always calling the pastor to check up on the spiritual development.
I know the one funk. I know the one funk.
Letter no.
A lot of parents don't do that. Neba Ghana and neba kwa sorry. They don't care.
Let's go to church.
Yeah, young kwa sorry no kwa no akote. Now the day is over. You be able to school. Or to be real oba na or then catch your phone so. No to be a man no then.
Sorry. They are rather.
It's on the pastor and the bonkomo.
Yes.
Activities when I'm with mama bano was happening. I want my child to do something in the church.
Sorry, what do you call it? Altar boy or girl.
Yeah.
And I say, or to jum or choir or emani effect. And I say Sunday school no.
More money be being
something so that you discuss it. Even you can even start a conversation in email. Discussing with the church. How's my son doing? How's my daughter doing? It's all evidence. Ubesu guyeso say me nyeshia. I'm going to repeat it now. Because it's like now, Akolana age 16. Yeah. 2 years left for the child to be 18. Maybe in some circumstances you've never contacted the school before. Some of these schools, some of the secondary schools in Ghana, they are not going to write that. And I say hospital. Who call GP? Who call G letter? Who say who need doctor nakasa? Meanwhile, or call checkups. You don't check on the child. The doctor will never most 99% of the doctors will never confirm with their certificate. Say you have called them abra
On Freya. That means Omali, nice wood intro.
Wood intro.
Lawyer Ansana, and yes, I'm over booming. Me for last question, no, Obisan, Ebiana, or pe answer Guyana. The decision also mentioned that I have provided a birth certificate, which is a biometric one, was only registered 6 months ago. This is so because in Ghana, a new biometric birth certificate is needed to get a new Ghanaian biometric passport.
Yes.
They said I did not provide any other evidence to confirm my son's birth. Does this mean I have to provide DNA? It's so expensive and do not wish to do DNA. And as the child is mine, whether my DNA proves it or not.
Wow. MDA.
Hello.
I just love what you've just said. You said whether the DNA proves that the child is my child or not, the child is my child.
Exactly.
What to me? Listen, I don't need to know. Listen, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Okay. The child is my child. I'm not going to spend that sort of money on DNA. Do you have the right to do that? Are you entitled to do that? The answer to that is absolutely yes, you are.
Okay.
If you look at the Home Office guidance concerning DNA evidence, they say that no official is to ask or request for DNA evidence to be included with applications.
I think you said it before.
You're not allowed to do that. You know, if the applicant chooses to provide it to strengthen their case, that's fine. Yes, but you're not allowed to force or coerce an applicant to provide DNA. So if today, we all know, MDA, quickly before we end the show, when you are going to get a new Ghanaian passport, biometric passport, you need to also get a biometric birth certificate. So usually my clients tell me they submit their old birth certificate and they give them a new biometric birth certificate. We have to remember that those biometric certificates that are issued, the date of registration, even if the child is 17 years, is today.
Okay.
And the entry clearance officer usually battles with this. I'm almost surprised. Say, Akola with these 17 years, na say na you register a birth. Kromha, within the first 12 months, the child is, first 3 months, the child is registered. That is the normal practice. Into some who say Akola, I register after 17 years. No, on my dream, but say, hey, try and draw. Akola we know.
Yeah, it's non proof no.
They want proof, but they as even though they want further proof, they are not allowed to force you to be subjected to DNA. So in that case, you need to be confident. The child is my child. That's my child. I've been asked to do a biometric birth certificate. I have done it, and this is what is happening. But you see, we can stand in for you and make those submissions on your behalf. That no. This is the practice. And the child, of course, belongs to the sponsor. And therefore, we have to also remind you that the Home Office guidance says you are not allowed to force me to be subjected to DNA testing.
Munya mutibi anyamana wuntibi nkansa no abena solicitors ombe ekasa ammawo enti obetimi afre lawyer emme ewo 07824705353 or 0203-759-3309. On my address, 14 Claypole Road, Stratford, London, E152RJ. May the Asadaka see Emma Moa Moba joining you Facebook and YouTube, ne baby bia Mutie or radio, so Moba joining na Mutie near Ecos Trimika, natural will be say, what's some ed din crass a dinner, Fako Abenal solicitors, Ombabo Ama, what's some aye de Omope, Cromania, baby bia, yeah, bo lawyer, Bacope, Abenal solicitors. Me enshamu na asamo joining here me pacho Musa Embrebium next week na yenyina yemfa enhyehyɛ so me da wan say lawyer me thank you so much. Can you say something to your fans na yempo
it's here for nya ya kasa bebre ne however no so person kasa further you want to speak to any of the lawyers
lawyer obi frame fa and time na so no
oh yet me fa
yemfa yes mayema 1 minute me hello good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Pacho, what to say?
Nyamia do mo pacho me oye.
Me nyamia do ye ho ye pa. Pacho time aso. Your time aso nti mema 1 minute why?
Me pacho yo.
Yankwe.
Me person be lawyer say, we application na decision ba. Passport na take how long as aba?
The passport should follow suit within the next few days. If it does not, you have to request it online. There's a certain form I yet me request it online, not omodiaba, because these days no eche answer na omodiaba, but you just have to prompt them, not omodiaba. So if you call me after the show, no, I will show you how to get it done. Why?
Me pa chow here.
Me pa chow I me tea. Ba any card ni ni ane ba.
Me pa chow ma dia obetimi ayama me friend lawyer Amy. Ma me phone number the man na friend also. No onu I can 1111 wait maybe send your person will be send bia. Yo ma me phone number the man 078
Pacho mi tio.
Pacho 078
Pacho yo.
24
Pacho yo.
70 53 me pa chow obetimi a friend why
Pacho yo.
that's it nyami sure yo bye bye.
You are always welcome home, welcome. Today's news is about success stories. Ever since we introduced Abinel Solicitors to you, there have been countless impactful stories from our clients. So if you are yet to experience the most promising law firm in London, welcome to the world of Abinel Solicitors, where there's always timely intervention for excellent results. Abinel Solicitors, we specialize in immigration